Did not know they made so many products that have Old Bay in them. Howdy everybody, Steve here, KM9G. Let's take a look at what I got at Dayton Hamvention. All right, Dayton Hamvention in the bag. One of the coolest things I was able to get from Dayton Hamvention are these Wago to power pole connectors. Got these from my friends over at HamSource. I mean, it's exactly what it sounds like. There's power pole connectors on one side and there's Wago connectors on the other side. And this is gonna be a fantastic little shortcut. If you don't know what Wago connectors are, you flip these lids up and you shove some wire in there and then you put it down and it locks it in place better than a traditional wire nut will. And it's just so sexy, I had to buy it. These things are like $8 a piece at the Hamfest. So I got 2 of them, and then my buddy Baltimore Mike came through with a whole bunch of stuff that he just didn't have time for and thought that it would be something good for me to share with you. This comes from Elecraft. This is the XG50 signal source. So we're gonna put that together in a future video. And what it does, as far as I understand, is it provides a HF sounding sound so that you can plug it into a radio and test it. But I could be wrong, because all I know is it's from Elecraft and it is an XG50. So we'll figure it out together in a future video. My friend Jody came down from Canada VE3 SAR. He brought some Smarties, and these are French Smarties. Aren't y'all jealous? I like Smarties. Unseasoned ham radio. Thank you, Jody. I got these roller cam things from the Rope Roller guys. These are actually really slick, and you'll see these coming in a video here fairly soon. But it has a carabiner style hook on one side so you can hook it onto the rope, and then it has a little roller cam thing there so that you can tighten up the rope and it will hold in place. And these things are pretty good. This was, I want to say this was like $40 for the 6-pack, and it came with a hank of rope. We're going to figure out about that in a future POTA video. My friend Tall Florida Todd came through with the Coffee and Ham Radios coaster. This one has my call sign on it. He brought in a couple of other ones for other people. And my buddy Hamstick Eric made one of these before with the Coffee and Ham Radios logo, but without the call sign. And so big shout out to both of you, AI4TB, I believe, and Eric is KH6WI. Jeremy, I want to say KE0LFX. Jeremy gave me this to play with. This is a TWR Plus Open RTX, and it is a APRS radio. It's kind of an open source project that I'm going to play around with. We'll do some nugget stuff on this, and who knows where we'll go from there. It's missing the PTT button on the side, but you know, stuff like that doesn't stop me. We'll figure it out. This is from LilyGo. There will be a link in the description down below for the TWR Plus Open RTX, and it's basically it's a 2-meter radio in a little box, and the reason why it's shaped as funny as it is because there's an 18650 battery on the back side. So USB-C charging on one side, volume wheel on the other. PTT button is missing, SMA connector on top, and a small little screen. So look for a video on that coming out. Ran into Caitlin, KD9WHO, and got some stickers. So speaking of stickers, I got the DX Commander SquirrelWorks patch. I got the Performance Z Arrays Advanced Antenna Research patch sticker, and another SquirrelWorks sticker. I got some new stickers from Jim, and then Amateurs and Airwaves from my buddy Evan. And Mike was there, and 2MAK, and got some stickers from Dennis over at Denko Batteries. I got this cool little Morse code paddle from N6ARA. This thing here is pretty slick. It is a little Morse code paddle. How cute, look at that. He had a huge life-size, larger than life-size model at the 4 Days in May dinner. And I'm looking forward to putting that in my kit and taking it with me. So there is the paddle itself. There is an adjustment tool on top here that I have never removed, so I'm not going to do that and break it right now. And then there is just your typical TRS plug to get that rolling. Mike also came through with the Whisper Lite Classic. He's like, I'm done with this. Do something with it. So USB-powered Whisper radio transmitter with an SMA connector, and we'll be doing some stuff on that on the channel coming up as well. Everybody played with Meshtastic. Meshtastic was the hit of the show. If this isn't ham radio, then you're not really understanding the full concept of ham radio. This is text messaging over 900 megahertz. I think it's 915 and change or something in the US. And you can use your license with it, and then when you do that, you can't send encrypted traffic, but because the 900 megahertz band is a free band, you can use it without a license and send encrypted traffic. But this is everything that ham radio should be. It is text messaging, location, if you wanted to, location sharing. It is a mesh type of network. and we'll do some videos on this coming out. So I played with this quite a bit while I was there. It was great to see some people that had some Meshtastic running, because there's nobody in Wisconsin that has it in my area. I got a chance to make some eyeball QSOs. This is KO4HRT, and David stopped by and dropped off his card, and I ran into my buddy Nils. Nils is a longtime viewer of the channel, comments on a lot of videos, and I always make a point to run into him at the Begali booth. And Nils has a love of typesetting that he inherited, and these are typeset on a press, and I believe what he said was that he rolled these out himself. Look at that. That is top quality craftsmanship. And with a hat like that, what else would you expect? And of course, what Hamfest is complete without getting a radio? So I found this, and I talked the guy down a little bit on the price, but this is the Yaesu FT90R. I got one of these at the Belton Hamfest, and I saw this in the box, and I kind of had to have it. So it's Old Bay time. We got some Fisher's popcorn. This is Old Bay seasoned caramel popcorn, so it's going to be a little sweet and a little spicy. Old Bay is not terribly spicy, but it's an interesting flavor, and I grew up in Baltimore area, and I mean, I was born in Baltimore. I grew up in the area, and Old Bay is something that is very near and dear to me. They also have Old Bay seasoned potato chips and Old Bay seasoned cheese curls. These things were amazing. He had some Royal Farms branded. These are hers branded, which is a local Baltimore brand. But he had some Royal Farms flavored cheese curls last year. I'm like, Mike, you gotta bring these again. These are so amazing. These are so great. And then quite possibly the weirdest thing I have ever seen in my entire life is Dead Rise from Flying Dog. It is an Old Bay summer ale, and it was actually kind of good. Mike, this was actually really good. It's kind of a lager beer that has a hint of Old Bay, as opposed to an Old Bay beer that has a hint of lager, and I was kind of afraid of that at first. So we enjoyed this at the Car B&B. And then also, these are burger cookies. I will leave a link in the description down below for these, as well as all the other stuff, because this stuff here is amazing. I have to show you what this looks like. This is fantastic. So there is one of the cookies. It is a shortbread cookie with a pound of fudge on top of it. I wasn't kidding. This is great. And you shouldn't ask, but one cookie, 220 calories. Don't ask. Well, folks, there you go. Another successful Hamvention in the bag. I try really hard to not buy anything when I go to Hamvention. And somehow I still come home with a full box of stuff. It's kind of hard to go to a radio show with a big old flea market like that and not get at least one radio, right? The best part about Hamvention, and I say this every single time I go to any kind of Hamfest, is just seeing people and catching up with old friends and swapping stories and asking questions and getting answers and giving answers and all kinds of stuff like that. If you haven't been to a Hamfest, make sure you go. Bring some friends with you. Spread the love. There's a video right over here I think you should watch next. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.